Looking for a pickup truck to get just about anything done? Look no further. The Chevy Silverado EV isn't just the most powerful Silverado ever, with next-level towing capability and technology. It also offers game-changing versatility with the available multi-flex midgate and tailgate, which means Silverado EV helps you carry large, bulky, and oddly shaped items up to nearly 11 feet in length. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Visit Chevrolet.com to learn more.
This episode is brought to you by AWS. Amazon Q Business is the generative AI assistant that can securely understand your business data, summarize results, and streamline tasks. Learn what Amazon Q Business can do for you at aws.com/learn more.
Hey, it's Austin James. Yes, I'm living with diabetes, but it doesn't have to define me. Thanks to the Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor, I get real-time glucose readings throughout the day. The Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor is small and easy to wear, giving me the freedom to focus on my life as a parent and a musician. Now this is progress. You can get a free sensor at freestylelibre.us.
Offer available for people who qualify. Visit myfreestyle.us to see all terms and conditions. Certain exclusions apply. Data on file. Abbott Diabetes Care. For prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
Money decisions don't have to be either or. With Bank of America, they can be yes and. Like yes to sunny vacations and rainy day funds. Can our digital tools and guidance help you create the future you want? Yes. And help you keep enjoying today, too. Do more with a bank that asks, what would you like the power to do? Explore our tips and more at bankofamerica.com/yes and.
Can y'all smell that in the air? Smells like NBA season is finally starting. Tate, B. Foster, June, and my boy Jay Trey representing the Chicago Bulls, Detroit Pistons, and Cleveland Cavaliers. How y'all feeling? How are you all celebrating the start of the season unofficially, officially?
In the play-in race. How else would I like to start it?
What play-in race? The Bulls didn't have no part in the play-in race.
June, most fans, I won't say hardcore fans. The hardcore fans are following the sport, following their team even 365, 7, 8 days a week. But those casuals, the ones that usually drive the interest of the sport or drive the sport forward, they don't care until it's Christmas. And as always, the NBA does show out and put their best foot forward on Christmas, giving us 5 games with a lot of intrigue, a lot of storylines, and the stars are there. Unfortunately, none of the NBA Central Division is there. Not the Cavaliers, who have one of the best records in the league. Not the Milwaukee Bucks, who we'll talk about in a second, who won the Emirates Cup, the second annual Emirates Cup. Not the Bulls, not the Pistons, and not the Pacers. Y'all have any bad taste in your mouth for that?
I don't.
I don't either, man. Matter of fact, if I'm any of the NBA Central Division teams, I'm happy. I get to stay home watching NFL like everybody else is going to do.
That's a little petty, but I don't necessarily disagree. I would honestly say you should always want to play on Christmas if you're one of the main stars of the league. If I'm Giannis, if I'm Dame, yeah, I should want to play in that game. If I'm, Zach LaVine, yeah, I can take the holiday and be at the crib drinking wine or whatever. So it kind of depends on where you at, where your status is at within the league, how good your team is playing. A lot of those different factors play a part.
And I think they look for market share too, man. So you got a lot of the big name, big city teams. I mean, the Central Division teams. I mean, I agree with Milwaukee. You think Giannis and Dame, they superstars. You think they get on there, but even the Cavs. I mean, that's the Christmas schedule comes out a long time ago. Nobody thought the Cavs would be 25-4.
I didn't.
I mean? Yeah,
not at all.
I didn't either. I'm a fan. I knew we'd be good, but not 25-4 good. But yeah, so it's not a surprise to me.
leading up to Christmas, we did say the Emirates Cup had just ended last week, and the NBA Central Division, which we are here to talk about, represented hard that game. The Milwaukee Bucks won the cup, second annual, and they didn't lose a game. None in the play-in tournament. Not the play-in, but the in-season tournament. Tate, I think it was you that said Milwaukee Bucks are going to finish where?
Third in the East.
Third in the East, behind the Cavs, obviously, and the Boston Celtics.
Right.
I have said that I'm not buying anything from the Bucks. I think their title is a little bit on the more on the fluky side than it is on the legit side. I think Dame is closer to wash than primetime Dame time, and I think Giannis is he's getting a little too comfortable in what he's accomplished in the years past. Not so much pressing the gas as much as he used to.
Wow.
But he showed out. He was unstoppable against the Oklahoma City Thunder. They had no answers for him. Obviously, they have one deficiency in Oklahoma, and that's defending the rim. And Giannis knew it, and he attacked it and abused them all night. I'm gonna go around the room. Guess what did you all think about the game? Starting with our Pistons contributors, B. Foster. Did you have any outtakes from that Emirates Cup final?
Yeah, I mean, is the OKC Thunder is a nice cohesive unit of young guys mixed in with a few veterans, but there was no answer inside. Obviously, if Chet Holmgren had played in that game, things might have been a little bit more interesting because they would have had a formidable protector down there. But Isaiah Hartenstein, he's solid, he's decent, but no match for Giannis. So it pretty much went the way it was supposed to. But yeah, Milwaukee's on a nice little run. They obviously beat the Pistons to get into the cup. They're certainly a superior talent to everybody, obviously, right? I mean, not everybody, but everybody that was in front of them as far as the NBA Cup is concerned.
June, Giannis back to being a top 3 player in the league?
Absolutely. Right now he's playing MVP type of basketball. He looks like he hasn't lost a step. He's unstoppable. He's doing everything. And for a minute, he was hitting that mid-range, which I always said if he ever had a consistent mid-range shot, he would be hell. And he's doing that. Like he's playing some great basketball, and he has single-handedly started a resurgence in Milwaukee.
MVP, huh? Jay Trey, you agree with that? Giannis is MVP balling right now? Because we've been living in a Jokic world for the last since Wuhan destroyed the world. You agree with what our neighbors in Baltimore is spitting out?
Yeah, I actually do. I mean, Giannis essentially, before that game even tipped off, he pretty much made it known that there was no way that they were going to lose. I mean, he literally said it. We're not losing no matter what happens. So I'm going to give him credit for that. I'm going to give him credit for how he's played. I do agree with your previous point that he had gotten a little comfortable, a little satisfied with where he was, with what he had accomplished. And I feel like he's playing with a little more, what's the right word that I'm looking for?
Tenacity.
That's the one. Definitely playing with a little more tenacity. I don't necessarily believe he needs to rely on that mid-range jump shot, but it's always good to have. But just the activity, the just tenacity, like you mentioned, the force to get to the basket whenever he wants to at will, offensively and defensively. The block that he had in the fourth quarter of that game was just reminiscent of the NBA Finals block that he had. What was that, Game 5?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, he's playing terrific basketball right now. I think he's leading the league in scoring as well, correct? So you can't have a MVP discussion right now without including Giannis for sure.
I thought the NBA leader in scoring was on the other side. Well, coming from the other bench, Mr. Shane Gilgeous-Alexander. I could be wrong.
I could be wrong on my side. I thought it was Giannis.
Okay.
Fact check me.
I agree. I'll look it up in a second. I agree that Giannis he dogged out in those last two games in the NBA Emirates Cup. And that goes to show it kind of backs up what we were talking about a couple of weeks ago about Milwaukee and Glenn's team. I might have to start calling them Doc Rivers again. They're turning it around. I think before the break they were 8-2 in their last 10, and this just it solidifies what the numbers show you. It's still early. The season officially starts unofficially on Wednesday, so we'll see if they can carry it on. All right, there's no Milwaukee Bucks rep here, so we don't have to keep glazing them. So
do I get to give my take?
No, you already did.
You ain't come around the room to me.
What did you think about the game, Tate?
You and B False and Jay Trey weren't here last week, but June was, and I called it out. It happened just like I said.
Yeah.
Giannis and Dame gonna dominate. OKC don't got no answer. If Chet hadn't been there, it wouldn't have mattered. He was gonna bully him, just like Shaq say. Giannis would have said that's barbecue chicken, and it'd have been over with. Giannis is leading the league in scoring by over 2 points, not 2 points, 1.9 over Joker. Shea is fourth in scoring, and put some respect on that man's name and give him Doc back. I mean, he been Doc since he was a hooper, so you really can't take Doc from him. So yeah, man, Milwaukee is probably is probably a top 10 team in the league right now, but they got so much experience and talent. And going back to Giannis' previous years, it seemed like he has coasted because everybody coached during the regular season. So he got hurt in the playoffs, so he never really got to turn it on when he would turn it on. So all we have is the regular season memories, and he was doing okay, but not doing Giannis. Giannis do Giannis now in the playoffs. That's when it mattered the most. That's why this cup game was so important to me. It's going so hard because he wanted to show I'm gonna be back. I'm good.
Hey, look, I can't argue with much of what you said, other than Doc getting his nickname back. Do it in the playoffs. That's what you said, right? Got to do it in the playoffs. We'll see. We'll come back.
He didn't get called Doc as a coach. You're not gonna stop calling Dr. J Dr. J.
Well, no, because Dr. J don't blow game sevens.
Oh wow!
I thought we all agreed that Glenn was his name. When did we say that he?
Yeah, that's Glenn from out west. That's how I know him.
Wow.
He's not wrong.
Is he from Chicago?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he's from Chicago.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right. So, like I said, there's no Bucks rep here. He never answered none of my emails, so we move on without him. We're done glazing the Bucks. Congrats to their banner, but they haven't had one in a long time. Oh, I'm sorry, they did get that one in 2021. So,
yeah,
let's talk about our week that was. Let's start with you, Tate. Since you are you're in the pole position, no Diddy. Cleveland Cavaliers. What was you all's record last week?
Let's just say as of right now, we undefeated Monday to Monday. So I don't know how many games was in there. 4-0 though. 4-0. Going for 5-0 tonight.
Nice.
Hey, your game is on right now?
Yeah, they up 47-46 over Utah with 4 minutes left in the second quarter.
Oh, the hell with Utah.
Oh my God.
That's facts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any Bulls fans like Utah since the late 90s, right?
Right, yeah.
Don't care about them.
And we beat Milwaukee coming off the cup win. 3-0 against Milwaukee this year.
Y'all have handled them, sure.
Yeah.
I think that leads.
And that is the week that was in Cleveland basketball. You go ahead.
Okay. So what about this game in particular? So you guys are playing the Utah Jazz, like you said. You guys are up heading into halftime.
47-46. Cleveland with 4 minutes left in the second before halftime.
Who's having the best game so far for Cleveland? Is it Spider again? Spider leading the charge?
It looks like Darius Garland had a few moves. I'm kind of got the volume all the way down, keep looking up at it since we're doing this, but it looked like a combination of Garland and Mitchell. Colin Sexton's playing well for Utah. He want to come back to Cleveland and show something, but
right.
Yeah, that's about it. I expect them to pull away by the time mid-third quarter.
Third quarters is usually where the rubber meets the road for bad teams, and Utah's a bad team. It's Colin Sexton. You mentioned him was drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he had a backcourt with Darius Garland. Oh my God. We all thought Colin Sexton was going to be that guy. Where I don't hear nothing else about him ever since he got moved to Utah. Ever since he left Cleveland. Well, ever since he got hurt and Garland took off, I barely hear Colin Sexton's name anymore.
Utah's been bad.
He's in purgatory.
He got banished.
Laurie Markkinen went to Utah in that trade and became an all-star.
Well, yeah. So purgatory works different for certain players.
Well, no, Laurie Markkinen is just the best player on a bad team.
Or there's an elephant in the room that's not being mentioned, but I
was going there, Jay Trey. I was going there. Purgatory works along color lines. It seems like.
Seems like.
Wow.
Probably not too fun out there. I mean,
Laurie.
If men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers Markkinen put up. Look at the numbers Colin Sexton putting up.
John Collins doing all right out there?
Is he?
Is he doing better than Laurie Markkinen?
No.
Yeah, right.
John Collins is doing good out there because he's on the trade block again.
Oh yeah, he's forever on the trade block. But I mean, he did good.
Remain that way.
I don't get it with bro. Every year he's on the trade block. No one wants him. It's funny because the team he's on never wants him, and the market never wants him. Like, what is up with bro?
I don't know, and I'm not saying it's so, but just to me, how it appears to me. You know what I mean? It's right. John Collins could be a locker room issue, man.
I mean, sometimes that'd be possible. It. The unspoken is usually the loudest sometimes in these issues. So yeah, we'll keep in touch with this game. The Jazz have a 3-point lead, a little less than 3 minutes left in this game. Let's swing around to the Bulls. Jay Trey, what was the Bulls' week that was?
Bulls were 2-1 on the week. Since the calendar flipped to December, they were 5-3 in the month of December. Like I said, 2-1 on the week. They had a home and home series that they split with the Celtics. They went into Boston and got a W, and then came back to Chicago and got smacked in the mouth. Highlighted by that Jason Tatum dunk, which got gassed up a little more than it should have been, but it is what it is. They're not playing terrible basketball. They're playing basketball along the lines of the Chicago Bulls. So,
for those that don't know, what does that mean? What does that mean? Playing basketball along the lines of Chicago Bulls.
It means the Bulls are remarkable at being consistently inconsistent. And it means that they will always be right around the same level of 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th in the conference every year over year, playing for a play-in spot as best they can. So that's what it means to be a Bulls fan at this current iteration.
This episode is brought to you by Bleacher Report. How do you follow sports? From college football to the NBA, Bleacher Report brings you the latest news, live scores, and epic highlights from your favorite leagues, teams, and athletes, all in one app. Dive into exclusive shows hosted by your favorite athletes and original Bleacher Report series with breaking news, rumors, and predictions all season long. Download Bleacher Report to personalize your coverage.
That's tough, Jay. That's tough. it's almost as tough as the game that's going on now. I don't know. I don't know if you're a DirecTV subscriber or nothing like that, but the Bulls are playing. The Bulls are playing the Milwaukee. I say that because DirecTV is probably the only local provider in Chicago that carries Bulls games. For some reason, the owner of the Chicago Bulls, he decided to create his own cable channel in an era where no one wants cable anymore, and he's trying to sell this channel at an exorbitant price, obviously to providers who are not buying. So a lot of people can't even watch Bulls games, but JJ3 is the exception to the rule because he is a Super Bulls fan. Let's talk about this game. The Bulls are playing the Milwaukee Bucks right now, the defending Emirates Cup champs. You all called Giannis a MVP. I'm gonna just let y'all have that. So what's happening here, James?
Well, as you can see with the score, currently they're getting kicked in the mouth once again at the crib. So, like I said, remarkably consistent at being inconsistent. They played good games against Milwaukee this year, so it's not to say that they haven't been competitive. But as we mentioned, Milwaukee has raised their level of play. They've hit another stride, so they are playing better basketball than they were when the Bulls previously played against them. Vuccimaine right now is having the best game on the Bulls so far. I think he's got about 8 points, 4 rebounds, something along those lines.
Yeah, Vuccimaine is having an all-star season. No one wants to hear me say this. I keep saying it.
No, you're right. And I want him to continue having an all-star season so he can get traded. But he is playing well, and he has been playing well this season.
What about your boy Zach, who's also having a light all-star season?
Lightweight all-star season, below what he's done at his best. But there's already trade buzz around him, and I'm hoping that comes to fruition and he does get shipped up out of here.
New trade buzz? Something fresh?
I don't know if it's new or already been discussed previously about the Nuggets potentially being interested, but get him up out of here. Whoever you got to trade him to, trade him. Like, again, no disrespect to Zach. He's a talented brother. His talents don't lead to winning games. His contract is ridiculous at the moment, and the Bulls need to pivot in a new direction, which is what I've been screaming from the mountaintop for years and years, to pick a lane and pivot. And unfortunately, they've already won more games than I would have liked for this season. So even if they do trade Zach and trade Vooch, it might be too little too late at this point, because you might have already put yourself behind the 8 ball.
That's you're tongue in cheek with that. They've already won more games than you wanted. You wanted them to win less than 13. The current number that the Bulls have won?
Correct.
Less than 13, historically bad, is what you're saying?
I mean, hey, look, I'm a Chicago sports fan. All my teams are historically bad.
Oh, I can't. That's facts. Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy.
That's facts. That's facts. Yeah, you should be a Cubs fan, but we'll talk about that later.
No, I shouldn't, but we will talk about that later.
All right, last question, man. Pat Williams, is he playing in this game?
He is.
How is he looking?
Mediocre.
The reason I ask, because Pat Williams, for those that don't know, he was a former lottery pick, the number 4 pick in the 2021 draft, if I'm not mistaken. The Bulls recently extended him, and for his career, he's been like a 9-point, 10-point guy, 4 rebounds, 4 to 6 rebounds, nothing spectacular, right?
Nothing at all.
I, as a casual observer, I might say, well, he was playing on the team with DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, the emergence of Kobe White. He didn't really have much space to really get no elbow room, spread his wings, really develop to what he is supposed to be. But J. Trey, I mean, what do you think about the Pat Dub era?
The Pat Dub era. There's some truth to what you said previously about him sort of being in the shadow of DeMar when he was here, playing next to Zach LaVine. Those guys are going to take a lot of the shots. They're going to suck a lot of the oxygen out of the room. DeMar especially, held on to the ball. He had that ball stopper label. And then you still have to get Vuccimaine involved offensively as well at times. So there was some truth to that, of Pat Will sort of being behind those guys. That excuse has been removed a little bit. And I did use the word excuse because you were picked 4th overall in the draft. You've been here for 4 years. production is what this game is about. I need to see production. He got 3 points right now. I'm not seeing production. So even though even though DeMar is gone, Zach hopefully will be gone. At some point, he's going to be pushed even further to the forefront. He needs to produce. I'm of the mindset, even with a greater role, it's not going to necessarily equate to greater production. He may score more, but he may have to have a higher volume in order to do that. I've never been a fan of the pick. I'm not a huge fan of the player. I'm not a huge fan of anything that he's done from a productivity standpoint.
I mean, he's from Florida State, so I mean, you get what you get. The player.
Shout out to Malik Beasley.
Ayo DeSumo. He filled in. Ayo DeSumo. Sorry, my Southern Illinois God. He filled in the starting lineup for Pat, and now that Pat's back, yes or no? Ayo should stay. Ayo, he should stay in the starting lineup, regardless.
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes. Now, do I believe that's going to happen? I don't believe that's going to remain the same. I don't think that's going to happen just because of lineup construction and opponents you're going to play and matchups and things of that nature. I don't think Ayo's going to remain in the starting lineup like that. I would do it though. I would keep him there. Okay.
All right. There was our Bulls, and the Bulls right now, the Bulls did cut into their lead a little bit. They're only down 10 now. Who did you say was showing out for the Bulls this game?
Vucevic, Nikola Vucevic.
Vuccimaine. Let's get. They said they want a first round pick for him. Now they're coming into the season. They said they only wanted 2 seconds. Vucci said, "Hey, nah, get your bag because I'm worth it." I mess with him on that.
I hope so.
Let's do it. All right. So now we got our Pistons. You guys don't have a game until later. Who do you all play?
Play the Lakers at 10:30.
Lakers at 10:30. So it's a rematch of the 2004 finals. Who won that finals?
Let me take a guess. I think the Pistons won that one.
I blame Kobe. So what was the week that was for the Detroit Pistons?
Well, we were 2-1, which I predicted we would be 2-1, but the game we lost was one that I thought we'd win, and that was against Utah. Utah started off the game in the first quarter leading 48-19. I repeat, 48-19. First quarter points, 48 points. Never overcame that lead. Cut it down to 6 at one point, but just couldn't get over the hump, playing catch up all game, wound up losing by 7. And that was the middle game of the 3. So after that, they had to head into Phoenix, which I just didn't think we would win that game. But ultimately, never looked back. Got a big lead in the beginning and just never gave it. They made it a close game in the fourth quarter, but ultimately the Pistons beat Phoenix to make it 2-3 last week. The first game was versus Miami, which was a roller coaster of a game. Foster was in attendance for that game as well. So,
yeah, that was quite the Miami game was quite the emotional roller coaster. We were in another game we were in control of for the most part. Gave up the lead at the very end. Tyler Hero turned into modern day Bird for a second.
Whoa,
that's deep. That's crazy. But yeah, we allowed Hero to hit some threes down the stretch, and Jimmy Butler was unstoppable. I think he shot about 20 free throws. He had 19 rebounds as well. But we were able to fight them off in that game. That was a game that they ended up taking us to overtime, and then they took a early lead, and then Tim Hardaway hit 3 threes in a row. And next thing you know, we were victorious. So, very weird and very odd week. I honestly, in my head, thought to myself, it's only right after an emotional victory like the Miami Heat game that we have a stinker against the lowly Utah Jazz, and sure enough, that's what happened. And then having to jump on a plane, jet lag and all, ran up on KD and Bradley Beal and them, and found a way to get that victory. So very difficult to predict. If you're a betting man on games like this, the Pistons, it's a roll of the dice as far as if we're gonna bring it that particular night. But we're 12-17, 10th in the Eastern Conference, and tough to say which direction we go, but we're around. We're around for sure.
You're around, huh?
You're around.
Yeah, one game behind the Bulls. Yeah, that's as around you can get.
Right.
So let's preview the game against the Lakers. The Lakers, everyone knows who the Lakers on the Lakers team. You got LeBron, you got Anthony Davis, you got JJ Redick as a famous coach. Everybody knows Redick because most people don't watch sports anymore or basketball. Foreshadow to our further conversation. But they do know the talk shows. They know Redick be on there. So the Lakers got stars. How do you all beat them tonight?
Oh, I didn't even really think about that. Well, we've already did that once on a Monday, right? Weren't we watching? We were watching that live on a Monday.
Yeah,
the last
time.
I
believe it came right down to the wire that last time.
No, I think we won that game. We were up. It was another game that we were up, and then I think they may have tried to get back in the game, but hold on, let's pull that up. Yeah, I think we won that game.
Run in the fourth quarter, but it wasn't that close.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the final score is a little deceptive. Okay. So this time around, I'm assuming you're in LA this time.
Yes.
Because the 10:30 start. That would assume that. So the Lakers, they had a little time off. They didn't qualify to go to Vegas like you all did. Will you all make it 2-0? Go step out there now. You all make it 2-0 against LA.
I can't say that. I can't say that. We had our really good spoiler game against the Suns. Not that the Suns are so great. I don't think they're having that good of a year, but that's going to be tough in LA. What was I going to say? Well, first of all, we beat them by 12 in Detroit, just to give clarity on how we did last game. But the two things that we know to be true, Cade's going to play a pretty good game. And for the most part this year, Malik Beasley is going to hit some shots from the outside. Beyond that,
we don't know. We
have no Hardaway. Hardaway up into the 3 threes he made in overtime hadn't done much. Jalen Duren, he's likely to be. Hate to say it, he's going to be probably in foul trouble, messing around with Anthony Davis. Isaiah Stewart is out right now, so that's our strongest interior defender. But yeah, it's really, we need more of a constant is from our prominent scorers. So Jaden Ivey, he's either going to go for 30 tonight or he's going to have 14 on 40% shooting. There's just no in between with him. He nearly had a triple-double against the Suns, which is why we won. But our role players, some days they're going to be on, some days they're not going to be on. That's why they're role players. That's why you need a constant couple 20-point scorers, and we just haven't seen that on a daily basis. Tobias Harris, flip of the coin. Tim Hardaway, flip of the coin. So that's what it comes down to, is whether or not we can get those consistent everyday star players. So
Ivy did make his comeback after a 2-game absence and gave you 28 and 8. As you said, he's mad inconsistent. Shout out to the Chicago Bulls. He might do something. He might have a great game, and then he might have a mid game. Definitely need more greats. You definitely need more great games than mid packs, right? All right. So, June, bouncing off of what Foster said, you need more from the role players. And I remember we had we had a discussion about maybe about a month ago about the consistency of the Pacers to give up a 30 ball to the other team's best player. How's that turning out? Is Detroit's defense, is they getting better?
It just depends on the game. Like, they've been inconsistent at every phase of the game. One game we're good defensively, we could be good defensively for 2 or 3 quarters and then give up a 40-point quarter. Versus Utah, a 48-point quarter sickens me. A 40-point quarter sickens me, but to damn near score 50 in a quarter, that's just unacceptable, especially by a team that's 5 at the time was 5-20, I believe, or something like that. It's just non-consistent play. Like I said, we can rebound very well one game, and then the next we're not rebounding. We could play high-powered offense one game. It seems like the team's most dominant player that we face they usually get theirs, but what happens is, a lot of instances they get theirs, but nobody else does. So, and that's the way we've been winning games. Their dominant player usually gets their points, but we kind of shut down everybody else. So it's like that person is going to do what they're going to do, but nobody else can. So that's been one of those things that's been happening lately. Well,
it sounds like you're saying LeBron and AD going to have matching 30s, but Dalton Connect is going to have a 4.
Well, I can guarantee you that Anthony Davis is probably going to have a hell of a game, and probably LeBron will probably have his best triple double type of suit on today. And you're going to have some role players that, since they're playing in LA, you're going to have some role players that score that usually don't.
One of the commenters, MSU Detroit fan, to quote Kate Perry, "Your hold and your cold. Yes, your yes and your no. You're in and you're out. You're up and you're down. That's the 2024-25 Pistons experience." I appreciate that comment. I've never heard a bar from Katy Perry, but that's a bar.
That's a bar. That's how the song goes.
Yeah.
That's how the season goes too.
Yeah.
Good thing you all got the Lions. Let's take a break real quick to pay some bills and take a swig of water, unless you take. We'll be right back.
This year, Santa's bringing the power of Energizer into his workshop.
Whoa, the Energizer Bunny's got so much power.
Wait, he's powered up all the toys. I think that means we're done for the year.
I love this bunny.
He's the hardest working helper the North Pole has ever seen. And he wants all your gifts to have the power of the #1 longest lasting AA battery. So this holiday season, stock up on Santa's and the elves' favorite battery, Energizer Ultimate Lithium.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in places that could expose you to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, their US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Fellas, so that was our NBA Central Division talk, mostly hyper-focused on the stuff that we know intimately. But let's talk about the greater NBA for a second. The conversation that's been perking up around NBA Reddit, NBA Twitter, NBA Threads, Blue Sky, and anywhere else where you have discourse, the ratings. Everyone's upset and got their opinions about why the ratings are what they are. Do you all have a fix, or do you all think this is an issue in any case? I'm going to start with my boy Tate. Do you think there's an issue with the NBA's product, and that speaks to the ratings drop off?
Slightly. I mean, the product. I think fans think these guys make too much money. I mean, I'm of the belief that you make what they'll pay you. So I'm not hating on that. But the fact that they are getting all this money, they need to go out and get some effort and play. I mean, back in the day, dudes, jokers used to play between 75 and 80 games. Now you got this load management, you got all this different stuff that's involved, man. I think fans get tired of that aspect of it. But I also just think the biggest part of it to me is that football is still going on. Football is king. Not only do you have the NFL coming down the stretch talking playoffs, everybody's into the NFL team except the Bears fans. You got
straight. That wasn't even called for.
Wow.
Unnecessary shot.
No, pay know where it's coming from, man. I just had to. Hey,
it came from the hip. That's where it came from. You was shooting. It came right out the holster.
That's when you turn into your Baltimore side of things there, Pay.
Whoa.
Wrong broadcast for that.
My bad.
Don't put him out there on Frustrated Chicago like that. but nah, man. So people just and the college football playoffs is going on, man. That's something totally new and different that people are into. So, like basketball will probably we're used to it being Christmas. I think it's going to be Martin Luther King Day. Those games when you see basketball start to kick into gear, like we're used to it kicking into gear.
All right, so you're giving you're saying it's both fans of it, right? There's other interests out there right now for the sports fans. I mean, you can only intake so much at one time, and you said it's a dissatisfaction. There is some real dissatisfaction with what the product is. Do you agree with either one of those points, June?
Yeah, I think it's just football's king of the hill. You're going to have more people watching football and having their interest towards football. I think once teams are eliminated, once the playoff starts for NFL, there's not going to be there's not going to be a lot of NFL games available to watch. So you'll see the ratings go up with the NBA shortly thereafter, when that happens. So
what about you, B. Foster? Do you have a fix, or do you think this is an issue in any case?
I think it has a lot to do with I don't know. I feel like there's been a lot of grumblings about the performance of the referees and how they've kind of taken over and had more of an influence on the game than I think a lot of people would have liked. I think I saw the Towel Boys get a technical foul against the home team. That's come on. I hate when I see stuff like that because it just waters down the game so much when people can look at it and create whatever narrative that they want to when stuff like that is happening. So but that's kind of been an issue across the board. Even in the NFL, people have been complaining about the referees. But outside of that, all the 3-point all the 3-point shots that players are chucking up. I was never a big fan of that. Even when Curry and them were in their prime, and that wasn't exciting basketball to me. And it watered down street basketball. You saw the young kids, taking step back and shooting threes and stuff like that. So the style of play has definitely trickled down to all different facets of basketball. But I think those are the two biggest things: the referees and just the overall product and lack of I don't know. They're skilled players, but I'm just not a big fan of all the threes that people take.
Hey, real quick, Pay. And be false. Isn't that just sports in general? The transition. You could have the same argument with football. Football has changed drastically. You know what I mean? Baseball, you got a clock on the pitcher, they speeding the game along. It's just a microwave society now, and people just want to see things happen faster, quicker. They want to see points scored in all sports and everything. The difference to me is not, and I agree with some of what you said. It goes back to football being king because football always competitive, man. any given Sunday. Them dudes go out there and play hurt. They get a cat out there with a cast on playing football. And you got some dude to say he got knee soreness. He gonna load manage for 3 games. Come on, man. That's the difference.
Unless you're Marcus Davenport.
For the Saints?
No, for the Lions.
He was on the Saints. Yeah.
Oh, he wasn't. Okay.
Yeah.
But
What's he doing? He don't play hurt?
At all.
Oh, okay.
Quite the opposite. But yeah, I mean, in football, it's kind of like college. It's kind of like college football where every game literally matters. I mean, in the NFL, it doesn't quite matter every game, but there's certainly a lot smaller, a lot less games. So you're going to have a lot less. You're certainly going to be talking about the first couple months of the year being, irrelevant till Christmas. Like by Christmas in the NFL, your season is about all but made up by that point. So,
Jay Trey, you think the NBA has an issue, a product issue, or is this much ado about nothing?
Not much ado about nothing. To an extent, it is a product issue. So the Bulls are playing right now, right? Of course, they're playing Milwaukee. They're down 17. The sequence that I'm watching right now in this game, Milwaukee comes down, fast break, layup, miss. Bulls come back down, shoot 3, miss. Milwaukee goes back up the court, miss. Bulls get the ball back. Kobe White dribbles behind back, turnover out of bounds. Milwaukee goes back down the court, shoots a 3, miss. Bulls get the ball, come right back up the court again. They score finally. Milwaukee got the ball again. They're coming up and down the court. So that's a product issue.
It sounds like you just described good fast-paced action.
Regular. And so to also go along with that, while that may be a product issue, that's also the nature of the game today. So it can't just be product issue and much ado about nothing. It's a combination, right? The current style of play in the league right now is very open pace. It's very quick. It's very spread out. It emphasizes the 3 greatly. So teams are going to utilize that weapon more so now than they have in the past. It's the nature of the game where we at right now. Tate mentioned how the MLB, how baseball has a pitch clock now, which was actually a good decision to make, in my opinion. But sports is always going to evolve. It's always going to continue to grow. It can't remain stagnant. It has to continue to progress forward. Otherwise, it's going to fail. So in my opinion, it's a combination of everything that you gentlemen have already mentioned and touched on, right? It is partially load management. It is partially a number of threes that are being taken. It is partially the referees trying to make themselves bigger than what they really are. Stay your behinds over there on the sideline. We shouldn't really see you until you got to blow the whistle for a legitimate reason. And then you do blow the whistle. You don't even get the call right half the time. So it all plays a part. It all goes hand in hand. It's not just one thing contributing to why the NBA's ratings are down. And like you also said, the NFL is king. I mean, Christmas Day used to always only be about the NBA, right? I never even cared about an NFL game on Christmas Day, unless it happened to fall on a Sunday and maybe, it was a good game scheduled for that Sunday, perhaps. But it's always been about the NBA. It's always been about we kicking it with the family, we eating good, we watching NBA from noon until whatever time. And that's what it was. It's not that anymore because the NFL butted in and said, yo, y'all go sit in the corner. We taking y'all shine over. So all of it plays a part. It's not just one thing.
I'm going to zig while you all are zagging. I think this is much ado about nothing.
I figured that was going to be your thought process.
Of course, you know me, man. So you know me. You know I have a special ear for dog whistles. No crypto.
Come on, bro.
No crypto. He shouldn't be. He shouldn't be in that movie.
He shouldn't. But come on.
So I have a special ear for dog whistles. If you all remember. Almost 10 years ago, there was a certain conversation coming from the political sphere about that's why no one watches your league anymore, and yada 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 yada. And it became a big hubbub about that. Then we had the pandemic and some other mitigating factors around this that have precipitated this idea that people are turning off the NBA because they don't like certain actions from the players. They're not engaged. They're not reaching out to the common fan anymore, right? I don't think that's an issue whatsoever. I mean, if we want to have a discussion about classism and something like that, we can have it. But I don't think that's an NBA problem. What I do think is that ratings is irrelevant to the NBA offices. I know none of the owners care. I know all the owners are getting a fat check, and they just got a record check from Amazon, NBC, and the rest of them, ESPN. And if ratings are important, Amazon wouldn't have been beating down their door to get to them. Netflix wouldn't be beating down their door to get to them. Same thing with NBC, ABC, and ESPN. That furthers my opinion that when you go into these meetings about media rights, no one's saying like, hey, you know what, your ratings are down, we should take a little something off the top. No, you're not. We got live content, and we got the only game, and we're the only game in town. We're gonna up the score, and you're gonna pay us that check. You're gonna dig deep in that pocket and go ahead and give us that. And it's gonna continue to do that as long as we are moving our viewing habits away from traditional TV and into streaming. These streamers wanted to get into the game. That's why they pay as much as they did. Amazon, Netflix, all the rest of them, Hulu, and name a few other ones. You could probably see Crunchyroll with some live TV contract at some point in the future. And as long as that's happening, people are still going to find their way. Now, let me finish this point. Streamers don't give ratings the same way that TV companies do.
That's right.
So that takes away from any type of ratings base that you would probably see, right? The only person that probably cares about ratings is the advertisers. And the advertisers aren't going to stop advertising, are they? No, because that's their job. That's their whole business. We know somebody's watching. We're gonna put this ad in front of you. So you're gonna go ahead and buy. What you got, Tate?
I mean, I agree with you, especially that last point right there about streaming is measured difference than television, cable viewers and stuff like that. But and it's good in the moment. I agree with you, no problem. But what happens when it's time to sign another deal, though? I mean, well, I would argue that the numbers now could affect a potential future deal. Like, yeah, we gave y'all $2 billion, but we really didn't get a ROI on that, and now we going let's do $1.5 billion if you want it this time. They end up losing money.
The NBA Finals, as an example, the NBA Finals hasn't been rocking ever since LeBron and Steph stopped meeting up in June, right? And as far as the in-season numbers, like the regular season, year over year, which is important when we're talking about financials, the Y over Y, they have been steadily going down since. Remember that inflection point I talked about, 2016. You all know what happened in 2016. We don't have to go through it. They've been going down steadily since then. Tate, they just got a record media deal. I have no reason to believe that, if this problem persists, they won't get another record media deal.
Okay, I mean, point taken. I mean, but we're talking about in the peak of LeBron and Steph and KD. Who's the next torch bearer?
There you go.
Now you're
talking.
Now you're touching into something else because that's a different topic.
It's not the refs. It's not load managing. It's because all the best players in the league ain't from the crib. The stars are aging out, and the best players in the league right now ain't from the crib. Sands and Edwards, right? You got SGA's from Canada, Greek is from Greece, Joker's from the Balkans. I don't even know what country. He's just from over there. Luka's from over there too. He's from the Balkans.
Vuccimaine.
Vuccimaine's from over there too.
From over there.
Yeah, all that. You know who we should blame this on?
Zion.
This is Zion's fault. If Zion wasn't eating so many Big Macs and constantly getting hurt, the league wouldn't have a ratings issue. But he's on OnlyFans when he should be practicing his free throws.
Wow. Decisions.
Yeah, we got to live with our decisions, right, fellas?
That's facts.
Yeah. Which stroke to take?
Whoa.
Come on, man.
Hand in hand.
Oh,
okay. All right now. Yeah. I'm gonna let you come up with the segue for that one. Go ahead.
You got yeah. The highway on that one is closed. but that's a good discussion topic. It probably won't go nowhere. It probably won't stop being a discussion topic anytime soon because these things get into the ether and they get inflamed. And again, 2 words: dog whistles. There's some bad actors that want to prop up these type of conversations, even though there's logical explanation that you all said to explain a lot of this drop off. And don't forget, this is also an election season. Every time there's election season, it dominates ratings. It takes eyeballs away from any other things that's in that same season. It just happens. Come back next November. Let's see what the NBA numbers look like versus what they were in an election season. Hopefully Zion will be healthy by then, and he can lead the league into the next era. Probably not though.
No,
that should sail.
No. I think that ship is sailed.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I tried to tell people when he blew up his shoe at Duke, but no one wanted to hear me.
But some people would take that as just your Duke hate, man. Duke, Packers.
Whoa. I do not like the Packers. I don't care about Duke. Duke is an afterthought for me. I'm a Carolina guy. Our rival is our rival is State, the Wolfpack.
No, that's no. Never been
you like Elon Musk. You putting false information out there talking about politics.
That's not false information. Ask any Carolina fan. Jay Trey, you a Carolina fan? Who's our rival?
It ain't Duke no more, bro.
Exactly.
It's just raps on them. It's raps on them for real.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. It really became raps when they retired Coach K.
No. Carolina retired Coach K. Right.
That's who I'm referring to. The they that I'm referring to is Carolina when they slid up in there into the Duke Dome and zipped Coach K on up in the body bag and shipped him on up out of here. Robbery died right then and there. Don't talk to me no more about Duke. We good.
Okay, fair enough. You had a look on your face when they said Duke wasn't the rival.
Oh, yeah, that was kind of crazy. I mean, I don't have no horse in the race, but
yeah, I haven't paid that much attention to NCAA hoop, as of late though. So
it is what it is. NC State is more so the rivalry with the Tar Heels now as opposed to Duke.
Yeah,
it's
news to me.
It's not what it is anymore.
I think from a national perspective, we have always seen UNC Duke as the rivalry. I mean, NC State made a run last year, right, into the Final Four.
Yeah,
but outside of that,
they've been quiet though. But prior to that, yeah.
I mean, what have they really done? And I go back. I remember Jimmy V winning it in '83, and they being a good team. But even that didn't carry over into any kind of rivalry with Carolina. As far as the biggest rivalry, I mean, it's a state school versus state school. I'm sure it's a rivalry in that sense.
Yeah, Michigan State.
Duke is in North Carolina also.
Yeah,
Duke was the rivalry propped up by cable, ESPN, because
Dick Vitale.
Yes, Dick Vitale. I don't want.
It's not 2 top 10 schools always playing each other every year in and year out.
I'm gonna name this episode "Dog Whistles." The reason why Duke was propped up for all these years was for a reason, right? We don't have to get too deep into it, but you know why Duke was propped up. You know why they was.
Well, how can we can't say it? Because Duke is looked at as a bunch of white players. That's what we talking about.
I didn't want to get too far into it, but
I just said something the other day on the podcast about the difference between Trump and Obama and Mike Tomlin. Why everybody want him fired? We know what it is, man. Then a dog whistle is silent. If you're gonna put it out there, put it out there.
Uh-oh.
Okay, all right. I'll put it out there.
Yes, huh?
The only reason why Duke and Carolina got put together because A, proximity, and B, because Duke is finally doing something and everybody started paying attention to. You see what they're doing with Caitlin Clark? That's all Mike Krzyzewski was. He was Caitlin Clark for a different era. NC State and North Carolina was always the real rivalry. If you go back to the early 80s, like you said, Jimmy Valvano, how many times did them two meet up at the end of the season? ACC champs.
Well, Coach K wasn't at Duke by then. He already just got to Duke. He had time to turn it around. But as soon as he turned it around with Danny Ferry and the boys, they was in the Final Four against Never Never's Purpose and all them boys. You weren't born yet. My bad.
Yeah. They didn't get to the Final Four until 91. I was here.
No. They went to the Final Four in 86.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. With Dawkins, right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly the point I'm making. They started doing things. They started doing things, and the Caitlin Clark effect took over. They like what they saw. He was box office, and what he was doing was knocking off people that looked a certain way, and that's how it all got inflamed up. He ain't. All I'm saying is that the real rivalry has always been State and Carolina. Duke was just there because they had a rock star.
Well,
now that he's gone, it's not a rivalry anymore.
Yeah, they was around for 30 years. So you saying that the Duke coach, what's his name, used to play?
Oh,
Shire.
Chef Shire, John Shire.
He's from Chicago or Illinois, right?
Yeah, I'm saying this.
Illinois.
I'd be curious right now what his record is against Carolina.
He's a losing one.
Yeah, it's not good.
All right, fellas, this has been a great show. I know Tate's going to go look that up, and he's going to come back with an under 500 record. But where can we get the post game podcast, guys?
You can catch the post game podcast at Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube, and you can catch us at all the for your audio fix. You can catch us at all the aggregators. Just type in post game podcast FFSN in your search. Make sure you hit that notification bell so when we drop content, you'll get an alert and download those episodes.
Definitely download. Listen again and share it with a friend. That's Rather Cavalier on the FFSN network. Where's your audio located, and if you have a video component, where can they find that?
We sometimes run live on YouTube, but we typically record and get it uploaded on the audio platform. You can find that on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeart Podcasts, and any place you find your audio podcast. That's where you can find That's Rather Cavalier. Looks like I said, in the third quarter, Cavs are up 99-88. They went up 11. They got to start the fourth quarter. This says 9 months ago. Now, I don't know what happened since the last 9 months, but John Shire was 2-1 against North Carolina. Shout out.
He got swept last year. So
you got swept last year?
He got swept last year.
Oh, well, 9 months ago, he was 2-1. So I don't know how from that article. I couldn't find it. But shout out to North Carolina coming back and winning by 2 against UCLA. I know we had a chat thread going, and I kind of made reference to at halftime, it looked like North Carolina was going down, and you of course you screenshotted the final score and put it in there. So I had to kind of just take that. But then all of a sudden, the Ohio State Buckeyes come up and put belt to booty against Kentucky, number 4 ranked Kentucky. So just shout out to Ohio basketball. The Buckeyes, the Cavaliers, looking all right.
They'll be all right. They'll be all right. Hey, Jay Trey, you usually handle our White Sox information and shows for the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. Sox Fest is coming up, man.
Can I ask a Sox question? Can I ask you a Sox question, Jay Trey?
Come on with it.
What y'all want for Luis Roberts?
¿Hablas español?
Sprichst du Deutsch?
If you've heard that sound from Babbel before, I bet you do. Babbel is the science-backed language learning app that actually works. With quick 10-minute lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts, Babbel gets you on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. With over 16 million subscriptions sold and a 20-day money-back guarantee, just start speaking another language with Babbel. Right now, up to 55% off your Babbel subscription at babbel.com/Spotify podcast. Spelled BABBEL.com/Spotify podcast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Oh, you
is he gonna get traded?
You trying to make a deal, huh? What's up?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want to know what y'all want, man. I mean, I think
what I want is about 3 or 4 top elite prospects. That's what
I know the Reds was talking about. I'm a Cincinnati Reds fan.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about giving y'all starting pitcher.
Run that.
Starting pitcher.
Don't listen to pay.
I'm being realistic. If you're talking about a ready player,
pitcher and two prospects. I don't know about 3 or 4 though.
Who's on y'all pitching?
Nick Lodolo. He's been injured, but he's young. He's a lefty. He's not quite as tall as Randy Johnson, but he puts you in mind of Randy Johnson style pitcher. Whoa. The big unit.
You're not convinced.
Dude, nice.
I'm not convinced so far. We're gonna have to talk up some numbers. And work something out.
We need a power hitting outfielder to add to the team. I think we actually ready to finish ahead of the Cubs. I think I had to pay the last 2 years on best record.
Please finish ahead of them bombs. Tired of them.
I don't know why. I don't know why would you be tired of the official baseball team in Chicago. In any case,
oh wow,
Sox Fest is coming up soon, right? Right, Jay?
It is. Sox Fest is basically just a fan festival for the White Sox fans to come out. Players will be there. It's just one of those festival type of things that's fun for fans, friends, family, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, all 37 Sox fans. It's a good time, and we're gonna have content surrounding that. I'm sure. I'm sure, right, Jay Trey?
So we can definitely have content surrounding that. It will be far more than 37 people. You being petty right now, but it's cool. I can be petty with the best of them. So I'm not mad at you.
I don't think it's more.
So come on with it.
Let's not do too much because it's not more than 37, and I'm right.
Hey, would they have your ice cream there that day?
You talking about the milkshake?
Whatever he went for that he couldn't get the last game.
Hey, man. I said on one of our shows last year that the milkshake was the MVP of the team. I meant it with my whole chest.
It definitely had the highest. It definitely had the highest batting average.
Wow.
All right, fellas.
That right there, I will agree with them all.
See, I don't be lying. I don't be petty. I just spit facts. Uncomfortable
you do be
facts.
Petty, but it's cool.
Uncomfortable facts.
Sometimes the facts are uncomfortable. Fellas, it's been a great hour. Let's hope all of our teams have a great Christmas break and come back Thursday and get the smacking squats upside their heads.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening to this latest edition from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. Whether you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watching on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And all my homies from Chicago, we say 3 things: bear down, go Cubs go, and sell the team, Jerry.